StrayAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get to use those personal initiative. That is, go get an energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques, all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is what you think about marketing is wrong. Before we get into this, I remind everybody, I send out a text every day guaranteed to have you focus, sharp, and on point called the Daily Motivation. I send one out every week called the Monday Motivation. Get those straight to your phone. It's free to join my text community. My number is 305-384-6894. Text us. Once you text us, you'll get an immediate response to get you confirmed, and we'll tell you what your options are as far as receiving the text. If you do not get an immediate response, again, we're still working on fixing some issues with that, but it will get fixed eventually. So that's why I'm still promoting it, even though it's not working right now. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That is the place where I do all my coaching. It's the only place that I do any coaching. If you would like to work with me directly, if you would like to have me as your direct coach, the only thing you need to do is go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, and that is the place where all the magic happens. Again, that link is down below in the description. We have a 4-part framework based around mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. If you are looking to build a business, you want to build your career, you want to get to more results faster, you want to solve some problems that you've been dealing with, if you listen to the show on a regular basis, I think you have a pretty good feel for what I do and how I do it. And this is just stuff that I'm talking about for the audience broadly. I'm working with you directly, looking at your stuff specifically. We can get even more detailed and even more granular and specific as far as solving your problems and helping you reach your goals. So go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Link down below in the description. Now, into this subject, what you think about marketing is wrong. Let you know all up front that this is the first part of what's going to be a 7-part series, because there's a lot of things that people believe about marketing that are absolutely not true. But I'm going to clear them up in this series. Now, we talk about marketing a lot on this show. Let me refer you to just a few of the episodes in which we talked about marketing, because there's been too many for me to list them all. And I talked about rejection marketing in episode 1364. Talked about how to make marketing work for you and how sales and marketing work together in episodes 2626 and 2627. 2626, 2627. How to market yourself without running advertisements. I talked about in episode 2610. How to differentiate yourself in the market was episode 2566. Expanding your marketing efforts in episode 2503. And let me see what's episode 2326, how to market like a politician. Episode 2315, how to be a bold marketer. Episode 2273, listen to the market, a sales conversation. Episode 1897, marketing is a lifetime job. Episode 1835, the 3 marketing traffic strategies. And episode 1515, you are a marketer. So I'll talk, and that's not even all of them. I just listed a few of them there, as I don't want to bore you listening to all these episodes. You can listen to any episode in history of the show on the workonyourgamepodcast.com, by the way. So as we talk about marketing so much, and I'm about to talk about it a lot over this next week, because the reason we do this is because marketing is the lifeblood of any business. All right, any business that is operating must be marketing. If you're not marketing, that means that people can't know that you exist and or that you have what they need. Therefore, they can't give you money. Therefore, you have no business. All right, the number one role of a business is to generate revenue. Okay, you may have other ulterior goals outside of that, but the number one role of a business, by definition, is to generate revenue. And I'm focused on helping entrepreneurs squeeze all the juice out of yourself and out of your game. That is what Work on Your Game is about. So today, we're going to start this series exposing some false beliefs that many people have about entrepreneurship and replacing them with the actual truth. All right, that's what we're going to do here today and through this series. Good news about this series and about me is that you need not know anything about marketing to understand what's going to be shared with you over the course of this series, because I want to make it so simple that anyone will understand this, even if you have never thought about, considered, or even participated intentionally in the marketing of a business. Everybody heard that? You don't need to know anything about marketing. You don't even have to be an active marketer to understand and appreciate what you're going to absorb over the course of this series. This is one of my unique abilities. People who are true experts have this ability, and I humbly and confidently say that I am a true expert in the skill of taking a situation or an idea that many people may find complex or hard to understand, and I will break it down and make it easy and bite-sized for everyone to get, even if you have no participation in this particular space. And even if you have a ton, you're going to get value from this as well. So let's get to it. Point number one, topic once again, is everything that you believe about marketing is wrong. Number one, more traffic equals more sales. False. Traffic, by the way, for those of you not familiar with the concept, traffic just means eyeballs looking at your offering. More traffic equates to more sales. This is a false belief. Now, some of you are scratching your head right now, Andre. How is it possible that getting more people to look at your stuff does not lead to more sales? It's a common idea that I hear from many amateur salespeople who come to me with marketing pitches of things that they can do to get more eyeballs on my material. I get people making me pitches. They say, Dre, I can help more people see your profile and more people see your video or more people see your whatever it is that I have. I'll help you get more people to see it, and that will lead to more sales. They'll either say that directly or they will infer it. This is a false idea. This is false. And again, every single app I've heard this on: Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, somebody DMing me or emailing me or texting me and telling me that this is what they can do. Just because more people are looking at your stuff does not necessarily mean that more people are going to buy your stuff. Again, that's why it's a false belief. More people looking at your stuff does not necessarily equate to more people buying your stuff. Those are two different things. People who look at your stuff for free on social media are not necessarily the same people who will give you money in your business. Let me repeat that one. The people who look at your stuff for free on social media are not necessarily the same people who will give you money in your business. How many people listening to this show right now have listened to at least 10 episodes of this show and have never paid for anything that Work on Your Game offers? Okay, there you go. There's your proof. The good news for every entrepreneur is that you can simply look at the people who are giving you money and cross-reference them with their engagements on your social media. So if you want even more proof, that's how you can do it. Go pull up your customer list, cross-reference them with all your followers on social media, and you can see that you got a whole bunch of people following you on social media that are not on your customer list. In other words, people who are consuming your stuff for free but are not giving you any money. That's what that means. And this is the same thing that many entrepreneurs notice when they kind of finally come to this realization. Most of the people who are giving you money, the ones who do give you money, your customers and clients, they are not the same people who are liking all your posts on social media. They're often not engaging at all with you on social media. If they do, they engage in a passive way that you might not even notice what they're doing. These are two different groups of people. And sometimes there's overlap, but there's not nearly as much overlap as many people think. See, many people think there's this ton of overlap between who is engaging with you on social media and how much people engage on social media and who is paying you and actually buying your stuff. There's actually less overlap than, again, many people assume. Now, let's be clear. Can more traffic lead to more sales? Yes, of course it can. The challenge is not that simple. Let me just get more people to look at this and I'll guarantee to make more money. It's not the way it works. If that was all it took, then I wouldn't be making this point. See, the traffic that you bring, the increased traffic, has to be the right kind of traffic. It can't just be traffic, period. It has to be traffic that is specifically targeted based on your offer and who your ideal client is. So you don't want just more people, period. You want more of the right people looking at your stuff. Most of the amateur sales people that pitch me marketing ideas, they don't understand this concept. Now, I just explained it to you, so you know better than some of these people who are actually selling stuff, or at least trying to sell stuff. They don't understand it, let alone could they execute on it. So this is how I know they don't know what they're doing. This is why I don't even engage. I don't even respond to most of the pitches that I get. So be careful falling for this, any of you who has been pitched. It usually happens once you start to get a certain number of followers, or it's clear that you are marketing some type of program, or you start running ads, you start to get these pitches from people because they just hunt these people down. They're like, this person's spending money on ads, they're probably spending money to get themselves seen, so let me make them a pitch about how I can help them get 1,000 new clients in the next 90 days. I got one of those DMs today. And listen, this person might not be lying, but based on the way that they approach, I'm not interested. Now, I'm not going to say that they're scammers because some of these people are not intentionally misleading you. A scam has to be intentional. So I wouldn't say that these people are scammers, but they also don't know what they're doing. That's what I'll say about them. So you can come up with a name for that if you wish. I don't know what you call that. Unintentional scammers. These people are, we'll just call them idiots because they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand marketing when they're trying to sell somebody a marketing plan or some type of marketing service, and they don't even know how marketing works. The challenge, folks, is not them. The challenge is if you don't know how marketing works, you may end up falling for that bullshit and buying from them, and they aren't even going to do what you need them to do. Because, again, you're asking the wrong questions because you have the wrong information. So this is why I'm making this series to help you out. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is what you think about marketing is all wrong. Number 2, Social media attention equals instant success. False. Social media attention or increased social media attention or any amount of social media attention equals instant success. First of all, let's define this word success. What I tell you success is for an entrepreneur. You are in the business of generating revenue. That is what an entrepreneur's mandate is, to generate revenue. So I'm going to preface this point. Well, I already got into it, but I'll say that I'm prefacing this point by saying that this is all based on how you're defining success. As I said, you're in the business of collecting money when you're an entrepreneur, and that's not optional. If you're running a business, you are in the business of collecting money, period. So more money collected means more success in terms of entrepreneurs. So when I say success for an entrepreneur, that's what I mean, collecting more money. And again, this is a principle, not an opinion. This is related to the first point, very strong false belief, because many people believe this. Many people think this. And they think more eyeballs means more people following on social media, and that means more money. Getting a lot of attention on social media does not necessarily mean you're going to make more money or necessarily you're going to make any money whatsoever. Yes, you heard me correctly. Getting attention on social media does not mean more money. It sometimes doesn't mean any money at all. In episode 1690, I helped you understand through my explanation the game that social media is playing. The game that Meta, that's Facebook and Instagram, or Snapchat or X or LinkedIn or TikTok or YouTube, the games that those companies are playing to make their money is not the same as the game that you're playing to make your money. And this is the thing that a lot of entrepreneurs do not understand. This is how a lot of people end up using too much of their resources on social media, trying to get attention on social media that does not turn into a return on investment of dollars collected, not because they're doing anything necessarily wrong, is because you strategically do not understand the game that you're in. You don't understand what business you're in. Social media knows what business is in. All right, you know how much money Meta makes every year? It's a lot. Look it up. They put it out there. They're a public company, so you can find out how much money they make. X, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, Google, who owns YouTube. You know how much money these companies make every year? A lot. You know why they make that money? It's because they know what game they're in. They know exactly what game they're trying to play. And what they do is let you, who may not know what you're doing, they let you think you know what you're doing by collecting your money and collect your money in the process. They're winning, you're losing. Not because you're doing anything wrong, not because they're doing anything wrong, but simply because you don't know what game you're in. And it's not their job to educate you. It's your job to educate yourself. That's why you're listening to this show. Episode 1690 will help you understand the social media hustle, what their business is. Their business and your business ain't the same. In other words, you shouldn't do everything that they want you to do, because that ain't the business model that works for you. That's what works for them. I'm not saying that they're always lying to you, but they have a certain business model. You got a certain business model. You got to know what yours is, and you should know what theirs is. If you're going to do business with another person, you should know what their business is, so that you don't get caught out there. Let's just say, again, episode 1690. Also, in episode 1114, I talked about the value of social media in your business and whether or not you even need to be on social media for your business. Because just because social media exists doesn't mean you got to be there for your business. Again, it depends on your business. Now, I know many entrepreneurs, many of whom pay very little attention to social media when it comes to generating dollars, and there's a commonality amongst them. You want to know what it is? There's a commonality amongst them. They all understand the same thing that I'm about to tell you. Okay, you want to know what it is? Common thing that I know a whole bunch of entrepreneurs who pay very little attention to social media. Here's the thing. There are a whole bunch of social media influencers out there who have a lot of attention. I mean, they got a bunch of followers, they get engagement, they got the likes, the comments, the numbers, all of that stuff that makes many people, some of you listen to this, look up to them and admire them because of their vanity metrics. That's what we call those, vanity metrics, numbers that make you look good and serve your ego, but don't actually contribute to the bottom line of collecting money. That these influencers, many of them, have a lot less money than they have followers. Let me take a sip of water while you absorb that. There are many influencers out there who have a lot less money than they have followers, likes, comments, subscribers, whatever the data is. Many everyday people falsely believe that the amount of attention and followers a person generates on social media is commensurate with the amount of money that person is generating. This is extremely false. Number of followers someone has on social media says very little about how much money they're making. Very little. Now, that doesn't mean that someone with a lot of followers isn't necessarily making a lot of money. It doesn't mean that someone with a little bit of money doesn't necessarily have a few followers. But there are people with a lot of followers and no money, and people with a few followers and a lot of money. All right, social media is not indicative of what's going on in someone's actual business, especially when you take into consideration how much that person is actually using or caring about or investing in even generating social media metrics. Sometimes they're not even paying attention. I know people who earn a healthy 6 figures a year, and you'd be hard pressed to even find them on social media, let alone do they have interesting follower numbers. So social media followers are not directly correlated to sales, receipts, or money collected, if you didn't read between the lines there. Remember that many of your social media followers are merely social media freeloaders. All right, so next time you see the word followers, it's substituted with freeloaders. That's who most of your social media followers are. They're freeloaders. They are loading up on all the free stuff you put out, and they have no intention or maybe even ability or desire to give you money. That's just what it is. And they're just consuming your free stuff, and that's what it is. That's the deal. The deal with social media is you put free stuff out, and people will follow you because you're putting out free stuff. That's it. That's the only agreement. No one's obligated to anything else. All right, there's no other obligations. Just because someone's following you on social does not mean they're obligated to give you money, and for the most part, doesn't mean they will give you money most of the time, in my experience. Moving on to point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is everything you think about marketing is wrong. And it's a 7-part series. We're on part number 1. Number 3, more platforms equals better. False. Now, this is a question I get often from entrepreneurs who are just getting their footing, getting themselves out there, getting known. And they wonder, they ask me because over here working your game, we are on every social media platform. So you name one, we are active on it, and we're publishing there multiple times per day on every single social platform that exists. Or at least the prominent ones. Let me not say everyone. All the prominent ones we're on. So let me name those prominent ones. X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn. And no, we don't do Snapchat anymore. So Snapchat, I demoted. They're not in that group. But all those others I just mentioned, we publish there every single day, morning once. So someone will look at me and say, well, Dre, do I need to be on every platform like that? The answer is no, you do not need to be on every platform. Because people think incorrectly. I mean, logically, I can see how they get to this point, but it's incorrect. They think, well, if I get on every social media platform, then that helps maximize my exposure, and that gives me the opportunity to possibly capture more attention in more places that I am, right? Logically, that I can see how someone can draw that line and make it make sense, but it's also not true. Based on what you heard in the first 2 points, you might be able to guess where I would end up on this. I already gave you where I'm at, but you might have been able to guess if you heard the first 2 points. While it can be beneficial to be on multiple platforms, I mean, there's a reason why we are on every platform. It can be beneficial to be on those platforms. My suggestion to any entrepreneur is that you focus on the platform, singular, or platforms, plural, where you are strongest, where you engage the most, where you feel most comfortable. That's what I would suggest you do. And that doesn't have to be all of them. If you are really comfortable and you're strongest and you like engaging on X, also known as Twitter, used to be known as Twitter. If that's your thing, then just get on Twitter. Just get on Twitter and do that all day. All right, if that's what works for you, do that all day. And I know very well funded, let's say, entrepreneurs who really put all of their time and effort into one platform, and you don't see them on any other platform. They literally don't have accounts, and even when they do, they're not even posting that much. So from there, once you master one, then you can expand to other platforms if you so choose. Again, I know successful entrepreneurs who do all of their social media dealings in 1, maybe 2 spaces, and they ignore everything else. And I know successful entrepreneurs who don't even have Instagram pages. And I know some who don't use TikTok. They don't use X at all. I know some who are on everything all day, every day. Right? And there's no one right answer. Right? I'm on every social media platform. I told you there's only one where I actually go back and forth and engage with people. Now, on LinkedIn, for example, someone tags me in a post and something that I posted, because I do a lot of media appearances, and a lot of times they will post clips from their appearance and tag me and stuff like that. I will engage in that way, but when I say I don't engage in comments anywhere, what I mean is I do not get in the comments of something that someone else posted that had nothing to do with me and just jump in the conversation. X is the only app that I do that. And that's the only one where I am active in that way. Instagram, I use the stories function. Everywhere else, I'm just publishing. I'm not reading. I'm not scrolling. I'm looking at other people's shit. I don't do any of that. And there are other people who do the exact opposite. All right, they are on every app and they're just doing everything and doing all the stuff all day, every day. And again, that works for them. You got to figure out what works for you. And I just told you how to do it. Start with one, get comfortable with it, and then you can expand if you so choose. There's no one right answer. But as I just told you, directionally, you want to start with mastering one and then you expand if you so choose. Do not think that you need to be on every platform because that gives you more opportunities to make money. Again, I can see how someone could logically think that, but it doesn't. No, don't do that. Okay, just take my word. Don't do that. I just told you what the word is, why not to do it. All that said, let's recap today's topic, which is the part 1 of 7, which is going to be everything that you think about marketing is wrong. Number 1, more traffic equals more sales. It's not necessarily true. It depends on what type of traffic, and you need to be specific and strategic about drawing more traffic into what you do, because often more traffic means you're spending money to get that traffic. So you don't want just anybody coming into your world and then wondering why you're not getting the sales. You got to get the right type of people. And if you're not spending money, you're spending time and effort. All of those things are valuable resources. Number 2, social media attention equals instant success. This is a false idea. Again, there are a lot of people on social media who have a lot more followers and likes and comments than they have actual dollars. If you're an entrepreneur, you're in the business of collecting dollars, not in the business of collecting followers. Do not get fooled. Again, social media platforms are incentivized to make you think getting more followers and likes is the game. That's their game. That is not your game. All right. Number 3, more platforms equals better. No, this is not true. And again, there are people who are on every platform like I am. Doesn't mean you need to be on every platform. It depends on who you are, depends on who your audience is, and also depends on your resources. Do you have the resources to be on every platform every day? If not, don't try to do it. Focus on where you're strongest, where you're most comfortable, and where you can find your ideal people. That's what you need to focus on. And again, I know successful entrepreneurs, healthy 6-figure and 7-figure entrepreneurs who only focus on one social platforms. I know some who aren't on any of them. All right, okay, so you don't need to do any one way just because you saw somebody else doing it. It has to make sense for you. Speaking of such, workonyourgameuniversity.com. That is the place where you can work with me directly. We can talk about where you're at, where you want to go, what you're doing, who you want to serve. We will get clear on a clear plan for what you're going to do marketing wise, what you're going to do as far as your strategy, as far as your systems for getting your name and your work and your materials out there so that you can reach your ideal people, make the money that you want to make, live the life you want to live through mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. That is all at workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link's down below in the description. And tomorrow we'll be getting into part 2 of this series. Work on your game. Dre, all